Good. And then how do you, oh, you just have to, oh, wow, okay. All right, so welcome everybody. As you know, we are here together for 4 days of discussions. We have been putting together a program that is covering a number of subjects on the topic of robust artificial intelligence, and will be up to 40 participants at a given time. So if you want any details on the program, or if you want to look at the recorded talk, if you hadn't time to do so, please have a look at our website. I wonder if I can actually share this presentation with you, because there's going to be in that presentation a number of clickable links that could be useful for you if you want then to have direct connection to the pages I'm going to mention. So first of all, thanks a lot for your contribution, the recorded, pre-recorded talks that you sent to us, also for your participation in that workshop and for your enthusiasm. To be honest, we were kind of scared that when we converted the workshop that was initially to be initially planned as a physical workshop and then converted it into an online, that we will lose a little bit of momentum, but you have been quite enthusiastic into keeping your attendance up. So thank you very much for this. We apologize in advance for the diarrhea of emails that you received over the last few months. It's been quite a challenge to organize an online event. It's much more complicated actually than what we anticipated as a physical event. So thanks a lot for bearing with us and to be here today. Sorry. So I don't think I need to convince you about why we created this workshop in the first place. There is definitely an increasing use of artificial intelligence as more real life application. And with this use of AI comes an increasing need for companies such as Airbus to demonstrate robustness of the model that we're using, especially when the product that we are designing are embedded in safety critical application. So here we have people working in transportation. Today with some people working in aeronautical industry as well as automotive industry, and you will be presented with real life application why we need to look into the robustness of our AI model. I think the research community is only partially or superficially aware of the actual needs of the industrial concerning the actual assessment, qualification of the models to be deployed in safety critical applications. So we thought that would be interesting to present the research community with what we actually need to discuss to converge into product qualification and product certification. To be honest, Guillaume will talk about it a bit later today, but we have actually no clear path or no defined path so far on the technique that we're going to be using along the line to make this assessment of AI robustness. So we definitely need to understand what's on the market and discuss with academics what's feasible, understand what we as industrial can gain from academics to design a path towards a more certifiable AI. Why did I switch? Then we confronted also two different type of research topic, as you saw, the empirical approaches to AI robustness as well as the formal method. So it's complementary research that may not have that many venues to collaborate. So we thought it would be interesting to confront those two communities and make them discuss to see if there is a common path that could be adopted for a more collaborative future between the different topics. My God, why am I always switching to the other one? Oh, I can pause actually. I'll pause. Great. The workshop aimed to do many different things, of course. The first is to present the research community with the challenges that we are facing as industrial. Designing towards deploying AI model in our application, but also to gather a different complementary research community to share the knowledge and to combine the expertise for future collaboration. So in a nutshell, I think you've all seen the program of the meeting, but to remind you of a few details, the first day today is going to be mostly industrial and contribution, discussing topics of safety critical real life application of AI. The second and third day are going to be more technical days. The first day is going to deal with empirical approaches to AI robustness, including, among other things, adversarial machine learning. And the second day of technical talk will deal more with formal methods. And the last day will be a bit of a wrap-up discussion, further discussion on industrial versus academic collaboration, and also the way forward. What is the legacy of this workshop? What do we want to achieve in the next year, and a kind of roadmap for research and industrial collaboration? The program is on the website if you want more details. I'm just going to put a little bit of details here. On the first day, we're going to have today 4 live talks given by our different industrial contributor, and followed by a discussion. The second and the third day are going to be quite similarly composed. The first is a first hour recap of all the technical presentation that we receive on a given topic, followed by a very short Q&A. So it's going to be a minute presentation of a talk, followed by the question that we receive on that talk. It's going to be following the order that is on the website. So it's an alphabetical order, and it's going to be a bit more or less 5 minutes per talk. So it's going to be a very short way of passing through all the presentation that we received. I will ask the presenter that I hear, and I will remind the other presenter that could not attend today to prepare a very short 1-minute summary of the talk. So the idea is to have first a first minute summary by the presenter, and then we just go and move forward with the question that we receive on each talk. And then there's going to be a breakout session, which we hope to keep under 2 hours, which are going to be divided as follows. The first 20-minute-ish is an introduction by a panel, so 2 or 3 participants that are going to be moderating the different breakout groups. So they're going to first introduce themselves, and then they're going to talk to you about the brief theme that we want to be discussing during the different breakouts. Then for about half an hour, we're going to divide you guys, depending on the attendance, on 3 to 4 groups for brainstorming, so that everybody has a platform to talk and discuss on those different themes. So depending how many you are, we will be divided in 3 or 4 groups. And for that, we're going to be using the rooms 1 and 4 that Eduardo showed you before. And then at the end of it, we are going to have a debrief by our group moderator. So each group will have a moderator, and then they're going to have to do a summary of what had been discussed in the different breakouts and a follow-up discussion with questions. And then we have been very lucky to have a number of participants wanting to demonstrate software libraries that they have been putting on the market. So on the first day, tomorrow, we're going to have a software demonstration by IBM about the adversarial machine learning toolbox. And on the second day, on formal method, we're also going to have 2 different software demonstrations run in parallel. So for you, if you can't make it to the breakout session or discussion, know that the demonstration of the software library will be about 7:15 in European Central Time. And those demonstrations will go and run for about 45 minutes. And the last day, we had a time blocker for more discussion and way forward after the meeting. A few notes on the question and answer session. So for today, if you have any question as our speakers are speaking, please ask your question live on the chat, and we'll connect them and ask them at the end of the talk. For the day number 2 or 3, you have been asked to look at the presentation, and we have been collecting some questions already on 2 Google documents. So those 2 Google documents correspond to day 2 on empirical approaches and day 3 on formal method. The link was given to you by Giants, and because I know you probably receive hundreds of emails from us, I exactly pinned what email Giant sent. So that was an email sent on Tuesday, December 15 at about 4 o'clock. In that email that Giant sent, there was the link to. If you have any questions before tomorrow or the day after, please add them to the document. If you can't find the documents, please share them with us via email. If you have any last-minute question that came just because you happen to watch the videos in the morning before the workshop, please, you can also ask them live on the chat as we go. It's a short time, unfortunately, that day, but we will try to get you question through. If there is really not enough time for that question, we will ask the presenter to then answer that question in written form in the Q&A, and we will communicate you that answer later on. All right, and a very quick note on the video and voice recording. If you don't want to appear or your image to appear at any point on the recording content of this conference, please switch off your webcam. I would advise you to also switch off both your webcam and mic when you are not actively participating, because the Microsoft Teams platform sometimes is lagging. So please, if you're not a speaker or if you're not asking a question, please try to switch off your webcam. Ideally, the plan is to record all the Q&A session on the technical days. Also the breakout session, first the panel introduction and the follow-up discussion. So we are not planning on recording the different break and brainstorming session. Sorry, I have to go back and forth. Of course, if you are taking interesting notes on the different breakout, please share those notes with us. It would be very interesting. I'm really struggling with this. How can I really, sorry. It's switching automatically. It's really annoying. And then we are going to also record the live software library demonstration. So then at the end of the workshop, we're going to be having 4 different options for the dissemination of the outcomes of the workshop. Either we destroyed everything because there is quite a number of participants that decided that they do not want to share their work, etc., etc. And so we will need to find and discuss alternative ways to disseminate the outcome of the workshop. Either we only share the recorded content with the participants, so only us will know what have been discussed during this workshop. An idea is also to do a partial dissemination when we only communicate the technical talks, but not maybe the discussion that we had during those days. Ideally, what we like is the last option, with a complete public sharing of the information via a YouTube channel, where all the contents of discussion plus talks will be shared on the Robust AI, as well as the Lawrence Center YouTube channel, websites, etc. You are, of course, more than welcome to share also the content of this workshop on your own institution channel if you have a means to do that. Of course, nothing will be done and published without your consent, so we will discuss that on day 4. If you can attend day 4, we can also discuss that via email. If you have any a priori veto to share your image, please tell us as soon as possible. A written consent will be, of course, asked for participants before any publication. And then later on, if you agree for publicly sharing your talks, you will be asked to just provide us with a very short description of the video so that you are completely in touch with the description of your content. And then you can share it with your own institution if you want. All right, that was all for me. If you have any technical question, please use the platform to ask questions to the Lawrence Center. If you have any question regarding the scientific content on the workshop, please let Giant know. So I personally thank Giant to have taken over the organization of the last few months. I have some personal constraint and a few weeks old baby I have to take care about, so I try to attend the conference as much as possible. But thanks, Giant, for taking a lot of the handle of the workshop in the last few months.
You're welcome. My pleasure.